Welcome back to the Disneyville Podcast, episode 46, season 3.
We have made it. This is the place where we talk about Disney cruise, I already screwed it up. Disney parks, Disney cruise, and all the magic in between.
You shouldn't have rehearsed. You rehearsed it.
I rehearsed
perfectly.
and then You
got to be in the moment.
This is why we can't script anything because I cannot do it. I've got to just improv it the whole way through.
You got to be in the moment. You got to be zen in the moment, and then you would have done it perfectly the first time.
Zen the moment. We are your hosts, Jessica and Tyler. We have missed you guys so much. If you didn't know, we took the summer off, mostly because we just did not have time.
Honestly, yeah.
To do that with childcare and all that. And it was a nice break because it made us really miss it.
It does, yeah.
And we were so excited to be back.
Yeah. And I always think about it. It's like, all of our favorite TV shows and everything, they always take a break. And then when they come back, I'm always so excited when they come back. So I'm like, it's
a healthy break. I hope you guys missed us too.
So today we are talking about one of our all-time favorite resorts. I love talking about the resorts so much.
I do too.
And this one is like one of our OG favorites from like when we very first started going. Mm-hmm. We're talking about Pop Century today. Even just the name.
It just makes me happy.
Gets me going. It gets the people going.
Yeah. It is such a happy resort. I think for us, and we've talked about this before, but when we first started going to Disney, like you said, that was where we were staying. It's what we could afford. That was our vacation, was going to Pop Century and the All-Stars
the All-Stars, yeah.
Because Pop Century opened, I have it in our notes, but like in the early, I know what it was. It was 2003. And I'll tell you why I know what it was in a minute. But anyway, it opened in 2003. So we started going, what?
I'm dying that there's a leaf blower right outside the
Y'all, we have never sat down for a podcast without a leaf blower being outside of the window.
Months have gone by. I swear we film on different days.
Different times.
Different times of day. Sometimes it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Sometimes it's 10 a.m. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Always a leaf blower. And I swear it's somebody who hates us because he doesn't. It's not even just like a constant. It's a.
He's really revving it. I don't know if you guys can hear it.
Kills me. It makes me laugh. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I think leaf blowers. Oh, here it comes.
He's coming back.
He's blowing it right at our window.
It's not a single pass either. It's multiple passes. He's very thorough.
There's not even leaves out there. He's blowing around right now.
He's gonna blow the whole sidewalk away.
I think that the soundtrack, the background music to all of our lives, is a leaf blower.
Here it comes. Everybody wave.
Oh my gosh.
He's standing there. He's blowing the grass. There's nothing on the grass, buddy.
Okay.
Do you want to do our mug shots really quickly?
Oh, sure. Mine has a little lipstick on it. Mine is Mickey Through the Years, because Pop Century is basically a walk through the decades, through the years. So I thought that was appropriate. It's pretty cute because it's got regular Mickey, but then he's just dressed as different characters. He's literally, there's one of him as a court jester, a maestro. All the things, like a little Main Street. Yeah, safari. This is truly one of my favorite mugs we've had a couple years.
Where did we get that one? Did we buy that in the parks?
It looks like it. That's a great mug.
It's a goodie. This one I've talked about several times, but I thought it was very appropriate because it's very like 1970s looking. Mm-hmm. For those that are not watching, it's very like muted tone, sort of like a rainbowy sort of, not
you
rainbow.
You might have shown that in the last episode or two.
It's one of my favorites, but it's very similar to what they just redid the lobby of Pop Century. It's sort of a similar aesthetic to this. This is a little bit more muted than the colors they chose. I feel like if you watch old broadcasts where it's like like that
100%.
Kind of stuff. But I feel like
a 1970s news bulletin.
If you look at the walls of Pop Century where they just redid it in everything pop, it looks very similar to this.
Also, my shirt is a little callback to, trying to show it. It makes me think of like the welcome sign to Disney. It says Walt Disney World, where dreams come true. And it's just like a very 1980s, wouldn't you say, kind of vibe to it.
80s.
So
90s.
Again, representing another decade.
And today. Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So let's talk about the resort itself.
Alrighty.
We're both so excited to be here. I see a little glint in your eye. We posted an Instagram story we'll talk about later in the episode. And Skyler was hype. I mean, I have not felt that kind of energy from you in a while. It was very exciting to be a part of it. Most of you guys probably know, but if you didn't, Pop Century is part of the value class of resorts. It's the cheapest option that you have.
The least expensive option.
I'm sorry, you're right. Cheap does kind of have that negative connotation. Yeah. It is definitely the least expensive option. I would say as a general rule, I'll be curious your thoughts. The Pop Century Resort tends to be around the same price as the All-Stars, but I usually think the All-Stars are slightly cheaper.
They definitely are.
Okay. Because I was going to say, we're not usually looking at the All-Stars, because if we're going to do a value, we almost always choose Pop Century.
Yeah. Well, what I always say is that the All-Stars are less expensive than Pop Century, but you get more bang for your buck with Pop Century.
Oh, yeah.
Because of some of the things we're going to talk about. You get the extra transportation with the Skyliner. You get some more amenities.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit more expensive, but you're getting more for your money out of Pop Century over an All-Star. So,
and we're still talking in the same class, though. You know, we're not talking about hundreds of dollars more expensive between them. But
and technically, Art of Animation also falls into that category, but it definitely does.
We'll
not
talk
fall
about
in the
that
same
here. Yeah.
Monetary category. But so quick intro for Pop Century. It has 2,880 rooms. That is a lot of rooms. There are 10 buildings, 3 pool areas, and obviously then Classic Hall, which has the lobby, the gift shop, the
Dining,
everything pop, dining hall, all that kind of stuff. Here's Disney's blurb on their website. Here's how they describe it. It says, experience the unforgettable fads of the 1950s through the 1990s all over again. From yo-yos to Play-Doh, trademark, to Rubik's Cube, trademark, and rollerblades. This resort hotel salutes the timeless fashions, catchphrases, toys, and dances that captivated the world through the decades.
So, first of all, I really appreciate that you did that in the same voiceover voice of whoever the guy is that does like a lot of the Disney planning things or like videos you'll see from, I feel like, the early 2000s.
Yeah, I feel like I could have done it better, but that's all right.
Try again.
Experience the unforgettable fads of the 1950s through the Now I'm already done. I'm not doing it again.
I wondered if you'd go all the way. That was better. Anyway, so my favorite story about Pop Century, and if you're a Disney file, you already know this story, but if you're not, lean in. Okay, lean in. Back in let's say 2000, the plan was to build 2 sister resorts that would be right across Hourglass Lake, a little waterway there, from each other. And it was going to be the classic years and the legendary years. So I want to make sure I get this right. The classic years were 1950 to 1999. So that is Pop Century. That's what we know it as today. But it was originally just going to be called the classic years side of this resort. The other side would be the legendary years, and that was 1900 to 1949.
The turn of the century, yeah?
Oh my gosh. The flappers and the talkies and I would have loved this resort. Yeah. So obviously we ended up with Pop Century, which represented the 50s through the 90s. But we did not end up with the legendary years, the 1900s through the 40s. That was the plan. They were building the entire resort, and they were well underway of building both sides of it when September 11th occurred. Obviously, that was a huge hit to the tourism industry. So Disney kind of had to rethink through things like budget-wise, all of that. So they went forward with completing the classic years side.
It might have already been done by that point.
It was not.
It was not done.
So It was not done. But my guess is that side, I wonder if it was more done than the other. So they ended up finishing it and opening it in 2003.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
2001 was September 11th. So a couple years later. And all throughout this time, so it opens in 2003, all the way until 2012, when Art of Animation opened, you could look across the lake from Pop Century and see, and we'll put some pictures on the screen I found. I'll put the source was it was a really cool blog post. I'll put the source in the show notes and description. You could just see these unfinished, kind of abandoned looking buildings across the way, and they were not that far away. They even had some, like the lobby with the 20, 30, 40, like really in the large letters that you see, 60s, 70s, 80s at the front of Pop Century. They already had that done at the lobby of
I feel like we saw this.
We did. Well, think about it. When did we start going? We went in
this?
2010 together for the first time. So that was when, I think it was 2010 is when they announced, hey, we're going to do something with this and make it a different resort.
Right.
So they would have started getting underway shortly after we started visiting.
Right.
So we definitely saw it. That's
think we
why,
have
maybe
footage
that's
of it
why it's so.
somewhere.
I've tried to find that footage. I know we were there and saw it with our own eyes because the bridge that currently houses the Skyliner, that, I know I'm getting in so deep. I just love this kind of stuff. The bridge they call Generation Gap Bridge because it gaps the joint. It's so cute. It was, you could just walk part of the way and then you had to stop, but you were even closer to the creepy abandoned buildings with like the weeds growing up. Like, oh my gosh. Anyway, now that is where you get on the Skyliner from both resorts. So it's really cool that they did end up using it. But yeah, I wonder, I bet Art of Animation would have been pretty different if they didn't already have the structure of a lot of these buildings completed.
Well, those
Not all
buildings,
of them, but some.
Those buildings are now the Little Mermaid rooms, which is why the Little Mermaid rooms very closely resemble the Pop Century rooms. They're the smaller rooms. They call them the standard rooms. And then they started building because they realized that they had this gap, generation gap. They had this gap where they needed larger rooms for larger families because the Pop Century rooms and a lot of the All-Star rooms can only hold up to 4, a family of 4 or a family of 4 with a child under 3. So families of 5 and larger could not fit in one singular room. So they started building all these family suites there.
Yeah. So, and I wonder if the entire resort would have been family suites had they not already.
Probably,
do that. Just a whole value resort of just family suites.
Well, they kind of did with Art of Animation. We need more and at a better price point.
That's my favorite little, I'll get off my history horse. So one thing I think that's important to note is where the resort is in relation to the entire Walt Disney World resort proper. It is kind of to the south, assuming Magic Kingdom is actually north, right?
It's the farthest north, yeah.
Well, okay. What's funny is you see it on a map and Magic Kingdom's always at the top, but I'm like, is that actually north or did they just make it so that, I don't know. So it's definitely then southeast and it is closest, I would say park-wise to Hollywood Studios. If you were just kind of trying to place it in your mind where it is, it's not far from the water parks either.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because when you're on the Skyliner, you get to kind of see like where everything is because, you know, you have, especially when you're on your way, you've got Art of Animation on one side, Pop Century on the other. Then you start going over, you can see Caribbean Beach and you kind of, everything's laid out and then you kind of go over and then you see, oh, this is a straight shot as you get off of Caribbean Beach. There's a straight shot over to Hollywood Studios. And then it's just
so
it's a very different perspective from the sky.
Yeah. A bird's eye view, I'd say.
All right. So again, talking about theme, obviously covers the 50s to the 90s. We've talked about that ad nauseum here. But the lobby is one of my favorite areas because they have all these shadow boxes that have all these different bits of memorabilia from all these decades that are actually legitimate items from those time frames. So it might be records, it might be shoes, it might be like
Furby.
Yeah. One of my favorite things though is both of us had this weird Wheel of Fortune game. And I remember when we first went, I was like, I had that game. And you were like, I had that game. And we played that all the time.
Oh my gosh. I feel like that's all I did in the car.
It was so fun. That was back. You children have no idea how good you have it these days. They don't know. They don't know.
They don't know.
nothing.
Honestly, I think we had it better.
Yeah, with my CD player that skipped all the time and my Wheel of Fortune game.
But you know what? We were living life, baby.
This is true. And
we had 2 feet in the real world.
We looked out the window and we liked it.
I'm sure I complained.
So yeah, ask my parents.
Yeah, I'm right.
But anyway, so these shadow boxes are so fun. So if you have just like 5 or 10 minutes, just go through, start on one side and then work your way through. It's so cool to just spend a few minutes looking through all these different and seeing like, again, all the music legends that they have. And they'll have magazines up like what was big at the time. And there's a lot of Disney memorabilia because obviously Disney's been around since the 50s. I mean, the parks have been around since the 50s and obviously longer than that for all kinds of Disney memorabilia through there too. So it's very cool to see through all that stuff.
Yeah, it'll unlock some memories for you, I bet.
So it's funny because one of the complaints that I heard is that people don't like bringing kids to Pop Century. This is the silliest thing I've ever heard.
Really?
Do not listen to this. I'm only relaying this because kids won't understand the references.
Kids don't care.
Kids don't care. First of all, that is the most nonsensical thing in the world.
They're in a sparkly floor.
Also, it's yo-yos. They're like,
what a fun way to like teach them.
They won't understand what groovy means. I'm like, then tell them.
Tell them. That's how else will they learn? Honestly, not showing them.
They won't know what a cassette is. Well, this is how they learn. I don't know. That was the silliest thing in the world.
I've never heard that. Wow.
Isn't that absolutely ridiculous?
Yeah.
But if you walk around,
we wouldn't want to expose kids to things they've never seen
prior to their time. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that always kills me. I'm like, even like older people than me will bring up like, well, you don't know what an 8-track is. I'm like, of course I know what an 8-track is. I'm alive.
You learn, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a student of history. I don't know. It's not even a history.
Get off your history horse.
Anyway, it kills me. I'm like, yeah, I know things. But anyway, so as you walk through the resort, they have these huge oversized characters from Jungle Book and from Lady and the Tramp and from all these different great, they have Mr. Potato Head. They've got, it's so fun.
A Mickey telephone with like foosball, giant foosball. Like, it's crazy.
It's so fun. So no matter where you stay, you should definitely walk around and look at all these giant figurines. But again, we love it. The kids love it. It's just a fun atmosphere to walk around. And whether or not your kids get the reference. Teach them and use this as a learning opportunity for your kids. And I just think it's one of the most enjoyable resorts to be at. I feel like Pop Century, maybe more than anywhere else, everyone at Pop Century is excited to be at Disney World. Sometimes
that's it. There is a feeling there.
Yeah. Sometimes you go to resorts and maybe it's a convention resort and there's a lot of people there.
Let's say like Coronado Springs.
Yes, they're there because they're there for work and maybe they'll spend an evening in the park or, but they're there. They're wearing polo shirts. They got their name tags on. Like they're whatever. Pop Century people are Disney people. They are there because they there want
for
to
vacation, baby. Yes. That's what I totally forgot we had that realization on this trip. And I think that's part of it. Like we'd be by the pool and like, this feels so vacation-y. Yeah. More so than like we love Grand Floridian, sure, but it's a totally different, I mean, of course it's a totally different vibe, but it's a totally different vibe. And it is so fun to be at Pop Century. And I feel like All Stars can be like that too. But Pop Century is a special little animal.
Yeah. It is.
I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah. I've talked about this so many times. People who've watched this before are going to be so annoyed at this. I filmed an intro to Pop Century years ago, and I filmed like a 1970s television intro, and like it was like the Love Boat intro kind of thing, where it's like you zoomed in on all these big, gigantic characters, and it still just makes me so happy.
Yeah, it makes me happy too.
I don't know why, but it has like its own character.
Did we share that again in like a vlog or something recently? From like our last trip. By the way, a shameless little plug, if you want to watch our vlogs from this most recent Pop Century trip, they were some of our best. They were so much fun.
They're so fun.
And if you're wanting to see like what it's really like let's say you're watching this and you're actually planning a trip and you've never stayed, or you're just a Disney nerd. I bet most of you guys are just like us. We'll link that vlog playlist below because it was truly one of our best vlog series.
And if you go to our Disneyville channel, all of our vlogs are on that Disneyville channel as well. They're all linked there as well. So let's talk about the rooms.
We have some stuff to say in this department if you were thinking about booking there.
So quick overview. For years and years and years, they were very similar to the others. And obviously all of them have now been updated. All the value resorts have been updated. I don't know, 8 years ago-ish, give or take. Between 6 and 10, between 5 and 20 years ago, they updated all the rooms, and it was a huge renovation, a huge improvement. They pulled the carpet out. They changed one of the beds into a pull down bed. They put flat screen TVs in. It was a huge,
better USB plugs by the nightstands. Like
it was a massive renovation, and it was so well done. I feel like they did such a great job.
Yeah.
Right now, as we're filming this in 2025, they are currently undergoing a soft goods refurb, which is, I don't know, it can mean any number of things. It's just kind of code speak for we're doing another smaller refurb. It's not much different. They are doing, they've painted the walls. They were white walls. Now they're painting them like a light blue. I think they're redoing the floors. It's the same.
The floors were decent though. They were like that fake wood that kind
is, and yeah, so nice. They're doing the same fake wood, but they're doing, I think it's a slightly darker fake wood. But it's a big improvement. The carpets, I never liked walking around carpet, and they just But now they actually feel clean. They are. I think they updated some of the artwork. They put new curtains up on the window. So small things, but it's virtually the same room as what it was. But the biggest thing that I think they did from the old room to the new room, besides the flooring, was they changed it to have a pull down bed, which is huge. Because now one of the beds can go up during the day. So you have so much more floor space. And even having, 2 young kids that, Although I feel like sometimes young kids take up more room than grown adults.
I would agree wholeheartedly with that.
It's so great because then they wake up, we can kind of put the bed up, they can be on the table, they can be coloring, they can be eating breakfast.
Did you mention there's a table and chairs under it?
Underneath the bed.
It's such a smart design.
So you get, I don't know, 60% of the bed space as floor space back, but then there's a table underneath it. So it's a very, very smart design. But then the bed itself is just as comfortable as the other bed because it's not like a spring loaded mattress where
it's full blown.
It's just a bed with a full blown plank under it, if you will.
Yeah, it's just as comfortable. A couple things I appreciate in the design of this room that I think was really well thought out is that, especially again, thinking through like if you're a family, adding the extra space of lifting up the bed is huge.
Yep.
But not only that, like having the little mini fridge or beverage cooler, whatever, is so nice. You have a whole little area there where you can put, like we usually order some groceries, as you guys know. We can put some of those snacks in there and it's kind of out of the way in its own little area. There's enough hooks around to be able to hang stuff up. There's room underneath the bed to be able to slide your suitcases under.
That's a big one.
There is a bath like with a tub, which is nice, but of course a shower too, all in one. But again, thinking about kids, it's nice to have a bathtub. Disney's really good about that in general anyway.
And having a separate door to the water closet area where the shower and toilet is, and then a separate sliding door into the shower, like
sink
the
area.
sink area.
Yeah. So someone can be getting a shower, going to the bathroom while another person's at the sink brushing their teeth or getting ready. You can have that door shut behind you if someone's napping. Like we utilize all of those different things. So, and again, I also mentioned the nightstands. Like they have a nightstand beside each side of the bed, and there's like plugs and USB ports on both sides. So you're not having to decide who gets the nice side of the bed and who doesn't.
On the dresser, I think on either side now there's multiple plugs on the dresser.
It's
so if you're
just so well
recharging your stroller fans, or for me charging like 6 camera batteries, or everything else you're charging nowadays. We've all got so many devices nowadays. It's very well thought out.
Yeah.
All of the rooms are 260 square feet. Almost all of them have the 2 beds. There are a few that have king beds you can request. So most of the king bed rooms are the ADA accessible rooms, but you can still request them, just so you know, it's not a guaranteed. But if you do want a king bedroom, like if you're just 2 people and you want to have a king bedroom, or 1 person, you can request it. The preferred rooms, though, are a location, not a larger room, not any extra amenities or anything like that. It's just that you are closer to Classic Hall and you're closer to the Skyliner. So this last time we were in the 60s section, which is the preferred area. We were in building 4. I wrote it down. Hold on. We were in, building 4. And if you want to know, our exact room was 4211.
It was an awesome room.
It was an awesome room.
The location,
I
it was
can't go back.
unbelievable.
We've never done a preferred room there. We always just
Usually, okay, so the farthest rooms away, just so you know, is the 80s and 90s is definitely the farthest. 70s kind of, but it really, the 80s and 90s, especially the 90s rooms, are the farthest you can be away from the main lobby and the Skyliner. And I think one of the recent times we were in the 90s, and it was far. I mean, it's doable, but it's far. It
if
feels
it's just
far.
the 2 of us, it's one thing, but especially with the kids. But I will say it was. I will say it was so nice. So many times we would like be up early in the morning because our girls get up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning. We'd order mobile breakfast. I'd run up. I'd be at the lobby in
30
60
seconds.
Yeah. Get our mobile breakfast. Be back within 2 minutes. Have all of our stuff. And then there was one time where we were like, oh, my breakfast is supposed to come with maple syrup or something like that.
It was oatmeal. They gave it to me dry. No sugar, no nothing. I'm like,
yeah. And so I was like, oh, no big
this.
deal. So I hopped right back up and grabbed a few extra, the fixins, the craisins and the
whatever it
the
was
maple
supposed to
sugar
have.
and the whatever. And so
the maple sugar.
So I came back and then I was like, oh, I meant to get hot sauce. I went right back up. I mean, all of this is so fast, like
So
right there,
close.
back and forth.
Yeah.
Then one night it was pouring down rain and Felicity fell asleep. But despite the fact that it was pouring down rain, Genevieve and I just ran right up to the thing. We played in the arcade for a couple hours, or maybe at least an hour, and then came. So even though we barely got wet, we were just dodging raindrops, and it was just so nice being that close to Classic Hall to get to the buses. Then on the other direction is the Skyliner, so we could hop over to the Skyliner in 90 seconds. It was
the beauty of the center.
Pace.
The way we'll pop a map of the resort on screen. The center of the resort on one side of the center is the Skyliner and the other side is the hall. So it's all anywhere you're staying near the center, you are going to be close to both.
Right.
You might be closer to the lobby than the other or vice versa, but you are close to both. And of course, you're close to the main pool right there. Ours was like overlooking the pool, basically.
Right. And one concern that I think people have is it going to be too loud being close to that main pool? Those doors are solid steel or something.
We never heard anything.
I didn't hear anything. It was.
I think there was one day we kind of did, but it was like, some kids running by. If you want quiet rooms, and that's really important to you, I mean, you can always request those outer buildings, higher floors, maybe facing away from any pool. But even at the main area by the main pool, now we use like a light sound machine at night. I'm like, maybe, but I just don't think it was. But I don't think that's as big of a problem as I think people.
Yeah, if you're that light of a sleeper, I mean, you probably travel with a white noise machine.
Yeah, you probably do. Yeah,
and you'll be fine. I didn't notice anything.
So another thing to consider if you want to be closer to the Skyliner than the lobby, which again, anywhere there in the center, you're going to get there. But I would say request buildings 3, 4, 5, or 6 with a water view. Because that means you're going to be facing Hourglass Lake, which of course the Skyliner is literally above Hourglass Lake. But I think any preferred room, you're going to be a happy camper because you're going to be there in that center area close to both.
That's it. Yep.
Loved it.
Also, just so you know, the rooms are 260 square feet. So if you can kind of visualize that in your head.
You did say that.
Did I say that out loud? Okay.
Tyler's really into the data points that none of us care about.
Hey.
Some people are like, thank you.
Cares.
I want to know. Well, it's really helpful too. Like if you're comparing if someone's watching this and they're thinking about the moderates and they're thinking about square footage difference. So
I think the moderates are 320 square feet average. So 260 to 320, maybe it's 305, 320, something like give or take.
Yeah, that sounds
And then around most of the standard deluxe rooms are around 450 to 500. So it is a step up. And then the villas obviously are much bigger. So
okay, let's talk food. I'm getting real hungry. So we got a glosser. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I am hungry though.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. You glossed over something you wrote down. You wrote lobby, sparkly floors.
Oh yeah, I love the sparkly floors in the lobby.
How dare you skip over that? Very important.
I mentioned it flippantly earlier about kids liking they're like, it's bright colors and sparkly floors. They'll be happy in a big
that's
pool.
Great. Okay, sorry. Now you can talk about food.
Okay, so everything pop. What do you think about the theming and all of that? So Everything Pop is both the gift shop and the food area, right? It's all called Everything Pop.
Yeah. So they just did a huge renovation. I think it is much better.
Yes.
They have the biggest thing is obviously just the colors and stuff like that. They did it, all the walls, all the tables, all that stuff is new. But the biggest thing they did was they have a huge seating area now, which I think is really nice. So they've got areas where you can just go over and play board games and stuff like that. But
and they have board games put out.
It's
so cute.
But I think the bigger idea behind it, is that
Do you think?
I think is if you get to your resort early and your room is not ready, you can relax in this area. There's plenty of room in there to put your suitcases and stuff like that.
And
until
it's
your
comfy
room is ready.
chairs. It's not like a dining chair.
Right. Yeah. They're big, these big blue comfy chairs on the big comfy chair. And then they have, or if your room, you have to check out and then your flight's not till
I think
6
that's exactly what we did.
That's it. So it's just this nice little area. You can get something to eat. You can relax.
It's within the dining part.
Right.
But it's kind of off to the side. Here's something I had forgotten
they have a
about.
coffee shop there too now.
That's what I was about to talk about. I had totally forgotten about it until I saw pictures from our trip and I'm like, oh yeah, they opened a whole new coffee counter. And it's actually kind of faces where the seating area is. You can go up and get coffee, specialty coffee, etc. You can get little pastries. And then you're not waiting in the longer lines that there can be in the mornings for breakfast in the main area. Again, it's all connected, but that is really, really cool.
It's all still very vibrant, still very colorful, but it's a little bit more muted color tone. And it all is more cohesive. The tables, the colors on the table match the colors on the wall. It's very retro, sort of 1950s, retro futurism kind of feel. Again, it's sort of this feel, if you can see my mug here.
I like to think they put all the decades in a pot, spun it, and then just pulled out whichever one, and that's the one that won. And they were like, we'll do that.
But I think they did a great job.
They did.
The leather or the pleather on the...
Gosh, you noticed way more detail than I did at this.
Yeah. On the booth,
big comfy couch?
The booth
okay.
areas is the same colors on the tabletops, is the same color on the walls.
If you asked me what colors were there, I'd be like, I don't know. Those. Okay. The other thing is they have really streamlined their mobile pickup windows, and we really utilize that on this trip. So they have, again, kind of near the coffee counter, a whole wall of like little cubicles with numbers. So when it says your mobile order is ready, you just walk up and take it, kind of like you're going to Panera and picking up your,
If you picture like those big 12 by 12 square IKEA things where you
That's
can
what it is. And you just grab your food and you're gone. It's
got your name on it.
It's simple. And I did double check. And I think we did this on the show. I can't remember. You can still get your large pizzas there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
now, they're not going to deliver them to your room. You got to go pick them up. But you can order mobile order and then just go grab it when it's ready.
A large cheese pizza. Just
for me.
What was I going to say about that? We got our cheese pizza there. It was so simple. We got our other food there. I feel like there was something
One time
else
we
about
got
that.
pixie dusted there on this last trip where I had ordered like yogurt or whatever came with one of the kids' things. And anyway, one kid had yogurt and the other didn't. And so I was going back and I was going to go buy the little like Danimals yogurt thing. I'm sure it was $1.99, like overpriced for what it was, but it was going to happen. So I went through the checkout and the lady said, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's on Mickey." And I was like, "What?"
You know what?
What?
I got another similar thing where one morning, maybe it was the oatmeal morning, that fateful oatmeal morning. I went back and got your craisins and your maple sugar.
Maple sugar.
And I brought up, and they brought me all the fixins, and she was like, "Well, here, let me get you a free coffee." And so she got me a cup of coffee.
Well.
I know. She's like,
I
"Sorry."
mean, that's really sweet. It was their mistake because it did not say plain oatmeal with nothing. It said oatmeal with raisins and brown sugar and whatever.
You get your gruel sandwiches.
No sugar.
I will say, two quick things. This is what I was going to bring up. The avocado breakfast bowl. I ordered at least 2 mornings, maybe 3.
You definitely did 2 at least.
That with a little bit of hot sauce, that does not suck. I'm a big fan. It's really good. It's potato barrels. They're tater tots. You can't. Tater tots must be trademarked. You can't say tater. Don't say tater tots.
They can't afford that trademark.
Don't say Murphy beds and don't say tater tots. They're potato barrels and pull down beds. Scrambled egg, cheddar. Doesn't say what cheddar cheese, I would assume, but it's just cheddar.
That's funny.
Southwest style beans, avocado, and salsa fresca. And then we both got this sesame chicken.
It was
lunch,
really
and
good.
That was really good too.
I would get that. I might have gotten that a second time.
Yeah.
Just something different. I mean, you know how it is when you're on a trip and you're like, okay, I can only eat so many potato barrels and fries and burgers or chicken, whatever.
Yeah. They're very into their potato barrels there. That is for darn sure.
Well, they are really good. I could go for a handful of potato barrels right now. Okay, let's talk the pools. So there's 3 pools. The main one is the Hippy Dippy pool. That's the one right when you walk out the back of the lobby or classic hall. It's kind of shaped like a flower, if I remember right, ish.
That sounds right.
It's a simple pool, but it's a very fun, happy, bright pool. And I even wrote in our notes, this is where you really feel like you're on vacation. We have done every single resort or nearly.
Yeah.
I think
you have not done Caribbean Beach yet. I did Caribbean Beach, but only for 2 nights. And it was back in the
Caribbean Beach.
It was back in the pirate rooms, which I don't think even exist anymore.
So we'll have to do Caribbean Beach again soon. But okay, so generally all of the resorts. So we've been to all of the pools. There's something about Pop Century's pool that is just so happy. And like we said, it feels vacation-y because everyone is there really trying to soak up all of their vacation time with their family. And there's just a feeling there. I can't explain it.
I do not recommend wearing goggles in the Pop Century pool. It is bugs and Band-Aids all the way down.
Don't share that. It's gross.
Just close your eyes.
I think that would be true for literally any pool. Remember when you lost your camera in Jamaica in that pool, in the water slide, and we got the footage back from that camera? That was blisters and Band-Aids all the way down.
I don't know what this pool was. My hope.
Are you talking about Jamaica?
The Jamaica pool. My hope, it was like a milk bath. My hope is that it was some sort of natural spring pool. And so this was like some sort of natural water.
I think it was a more natural pool.
Okay.
Think about the okay, now we're getting off.
Yeah, we're getting off. But I'll put a little bit of footage up here. You can see that
in Jamaica, this is not Pop Century.
It was a pool. So normally you lose a camera in a pool. You see like, oh, there it is. And you pick it up. This pool was so murky that it was only like 4 feet deep. It took me and this other guy like 20 minutes to find my camera at the bottom of this pool because it was so murky. And we had to like get snorkels on and we were diving down to
In fairness, the camera was this big. So
but even still,
tiny, like an inch if you're not watching.
You should be able to find it. Anyway.
Okay.
Itching to head to Disney? The top-notch team of travel advisors at my travel agency, People Mover Travel, are experts in all things Disney. From the parks to Disney Cruise Line, they are your personal travel advisor from the moment your trip is booked until the moment you get home. They can book your hotel, dining reservations, tours, and we continue to monitor special offers to ensure that you're getting the best price for your trip. And it's not just Disney. We have experts that specialize in Europe, cruises, all-inclusive resorts, Alaska, Hawaii, and more. Find out how we can personally help you plan and book your next trip for free. Visit peoplemovertravel.com to get a free, no-obligation quote and find out how we can make your next trip anywhere more magical. People Mover Travel, the official travel agency of the Disneyville Podcast. Because your vacation shouldn't feel like a homework assignment.
So another thing I want to add is if you have small kids or just kids that would prefer a splash pad, they have one right next to the main pool, like right there. And so that was great because we do have a 7 and a 3-year-old. So the 7-year-old could be in the pool with one of us, the 3-year-old, but we're generally in the same area. Like that worked out.
But you know what's funny is our 7-year-old's like, no, I want to go to the big pool. And then she had so much fun.
So much fun in the splash pad. So, you know. And then they have 2 quiet pools, the bowling pin one over in the 50s area and then the computers one in the 1990s.
Yes.
One.
Yeah. Also, the pool, I swim in it all the time. So, I mean, it's definitely clean.
It's fine.
It's definitely clean.
It's probably as cleaner than most.
It's clean as any public
pool.
So don't let that let that deter you. I'm just.
I don't think it looks dirty at all. You probably saw one singular Band-Aid and you were like, okay, there must be 100,000 Band-Aids in here.
Ipso facto.
It's probably our own kid's Band-Aid. Who knows?
I'd like to talk about the amenities for a moment, if I may. There's a playground in the 1970s area, which is just nice. Most of the resorts. Could you stop looking at me?
I'm sorry. I was picturing. I can't remember this playground. I'm
we
delighted.
Didn't do it this time.
That's what I thought, but I remember now doing it last time. But I just pictured a playground from the actual 1970s, and what would that look like? You know,
it would look like
a hot metal
slide. But you know what I'm picturing is the opening to the original Sesame Street.
I mean, that's the same song. That's all.
I know, but like, could you picture the opening, like the original opening?
No,
to Sesame Street?
I don't know.
That's what I'm picturing. That slide was definitely 1,000 degrees. All right, there is a running trail that goes around Hourglass Lake. There's no gym at either of the properties, but there is a running trail. And
it's really nice. You're literally running under the Skyliner. You're going across, you're going around both Art of Animation and Pop Century. So it's a pretty cool running trail, but of course, Disney weather, it's so hot. So you got to run at like 6 a.m. or not at all.
and even still. Though we didn't run this last time, but the time before that, we did run. We would trade off running. And I think it was like 0.8 miles, give or take, something like that. I don't think it was.
It was close to a mile the whole way around, but not quite.
There is laundry over by the main pool area, so if you need to do laundry.
Yes, and there's another one, I'm pretty sure, over by the computer pool, which makes me wonder, I bet there's another one over by the other pool too.
I think you're right, now that you say that.
Which is so nice, and there's plenty of washers and dryers, no matter which area of it you're in, so you're not having to lug your laundry all the way to the main, but it's just nice to be able to do laundry.
Yeah, and then finally, there is this airport luggage service. Quick little story time here. I was all cocky about it on our last trip because I was all like, oh yeah, they've done this. They did it for 20 years and they're talking about like it's this brand new service, lurka-durka-dur, and they used to do it all the time, and then they lost our luggage.
They did lose our luggage. I totally forgot.
So long story short, they have this service. They used to do it for years when they had the Magical Express, where you would drop off your luggage at your resort and you wouldn't see it again until you got to your home.
So at the end of your trip,
Right, at the end of your trip. You wouldn't see it again until you got to your home airport. And
Amazing.
It was glorious. So you didn't have to lug it through the airport. It was fantastic. And when we did it back then, it was always great.
Yeah.
Never had any issues with it. And it was just such a nice extra service that was included with your resort.
And there was always a stipulation, and I think there still is, like you have to drop it off by a certain time in the morning because there's a cutoff because they've got to make sure they get it to the airport in time. Blah,
exactly. Blah, blah. Yep. And so it was this amazing service. Well, they kept touting it as like, oh, we're doing this brand new service and blah, blah, blah. And I kept making fun of them like, oh, as if you didn't do it for 20 years back when you had the Magical Express. Anyway, they must have heard me and lost our luggage on purpose because I kept making fun of them. throughout the whole vlog series, I'm like making fun of them. And they were like, oh, we got speakers
This guy.
everywhere. The mouse misses nothing.
Big mouse.
Anyway, they definitely lost our luggage, and
We got it the next day.
They did
Like, it
deliver
was
it to
not-
us
yeah.
the next day
To our home, which was nice.
And what was interesting though is,
All the way from Disney. They drove. No, I'm kidding.
if I remember right, when we got to Indy, they said that it was never even checked into the Orlando airport or something like that.
Yeah, there was something
So there was
weird.
some disconnect from Disney. And then anyway, so we got it the next day, and they delivered it to our house. It was not that deep, but at least it was on that end versus on the front end. If you're like, I have no clothes, I have no nothing. If you're on your way home, it's not as big of a
Yeah.
deal. But
Yeah, for sure.
anywho,
So that's exciting, though. I'll be curious if they continue to do that
Yeah.
as they flesh things out.
And as of
Hopefully,
right
we were a lesson for them.
Right.
Whatever it was that happened, these are the
they're
times they
figuring
work
it out.
out the
This, and
kinks,
that's
so.
it. As of right now, it's only at certain resorts, and it's only with Southwest Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they'll add it to more resorts, add it to more airlines. Even back in the day, I think it was only 3 or 4 airlines. It was like Southwest, American, Delta. Like it was only
Some of
few
the biggies,
airlines,
but
right?
yeah.
So hopefully they'll continue to expand that service and
Because it is nice.
and stop losing luggage.
And then maybe bring back Magical Express.
I'll pay for it. I'll pay.
I would pay for that because you pay. Don't
I'll
even
pay
get us
upwards of
started, you guys.
$10 per person.
I'd pay even 20. We're
No
paying
more
more
than
than
that,
that. No
No
more
more
than
than
that. Okay, transportation. Obviously, you can take a bus to any of the resorts from the front of the lobby, but the big thing here is that they have the Skyliner that we've talked about. And this is
Not
huge.
to the resorts. You can take a bus to
Sorry,
the parks.
that's what I meant.
From the resorts.
Definitely the parks.
Didn't
not
want
the
to confuse
others. Yes.
anybody.
The Skyliner can take you to Hollywood Studios and Epcot. That is huge because it is such. We've realized it's not necessarily that it's quicker. It's really, I don't think it is. If you actually time it, it's
I think
probably
it
about the
is.
same.
I think it's faster from a waiting standpoint.
Oh, you're not waiting. I mean,
That's it.
you're there, and there maybe is a line. The line goes by fast, and most of the time throughout the day, there's
Right.
no line. Yes, so I agree. But actual travel time, I think in the end, it's
Yeah.
like maybe a minute or two
might be
faster,
right there,
and it
yeah.
depends on where you're going.
Right.
But it is so nice. You're in your own little cabin in the sky. You're maybe with another group. Like oftentimes with the 4 of us, it's just us. If you have a stroller, not like the double wides, but if you have a stroller, you can roll it on without breaking it down. That is
Which is
huge. Because of
huge.
course on a bus, you're breaking it down, you're emptying it out, you're doing all the things. So that alone, I'm like, man.
Yeah.
If there was ever a resort that used a Skyliner to go to all 4 or monorail, I would only stay in that resort
I know.
while we have a stroller. That's it. I
Especially
wouldn't
in the
go anywhere
evenings,
else.
if you have a kid who's napping, to be able to just roll that stroller back on
Mm-hmm.
and go back to your resort.
You can't.
game
That
changer.
price is.
There was
it's
multiple
priceless.
times on this last trip where we were able to take our younger daughter and lift her right directly into the bed at the end of the night because she was asleep in the stroller.
And I would pay a lot of money to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And this is a value resort. It's the only value that has the Skyliner, other than, of course, Art of Animation. But we always say Art of Animation is hardly value because the price is like double, if not more.
Right.
Always.
Now it does have multiple bathrooms, multiple rooms.
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
a lot
you're,
that comes
you're
with it.
getting
We
more
always-
for your money,
yeah,
but
we
we
always-
joke that
yeah.
it's really more of a moderate when it comes to your actual.
Depending on the time
price.
of year, it is quite. Sometimes it's even less expensive to get 2 rooms at Pop Century than it is to get a single room at
Yeah.
Art of Animation. Not always, but a lot of
Yeah.
times.
So let's talk pros and cons. And then we're going to get some feedback from you guys of your thoughts on Pop Century. I read through a few of these and I was like, oh my gosh, some of these I didn't even think about.
Okay. All right. So pros, Skyliner. That has to be the number 1 pro.
Mm-hmm.
It's the biggest
It's worth
deal.
its weight in gold.
It really is.
Yeah.
And especially like you said, if they ever do a phase 2 where it goes to even just Animal Kingdom, even if it just goes there
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
or to Disney Springs, I mean,
Oh, that'd be so fun. And again, I want to add that another reason the Skyliner is amazing is because you're always able to sit down on a bus at the end of the night. You don't know if you're going to be sitting. Odds are you're standing unless you're needing to sit. Like, don't get me started on like people that won't stand up for like a clearly elderly person or a pregnant person that I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let them sit. Like they obviously, but anyway, on a Skyliner, they're not loading those so full. I mean, there's a weight limit. So they're loading them with just enough people that can sit. They're not overloading it. So
you know what?
always get to sit.
I'm gonna get on my high horse here for a second.
The history horse or the high horse?
High horse.
High horse, okay.
We were in London over the summer. Every single time we got on the tube and I was holding Felicity, people offered me a seat. It was incredible. Men, women, anybody who was was like, oh, please have my seat. People in London are some of the
Friendliest.
friendliest, kindest, most thoughtful people. It didn't matter. It was every time we got on the tube, somebody offered me a seat if there wasn't one open. It was incredible throughout the entire 5 days we were there. In Disney, on a bus, there will be 16-year-old teenage boys and their parents sitting right next to them. I'm holding like Felicity at the end of the night.
Like falling as it,
Like falling, like, and the parents will just stare at me as I'm like and she's asleep, so I'm like I can't even barely hold on to her, and I'm like I'm falling as every time they break the bus.
This is a grievance.
And no one even looks at me. I'm like, they'll stare right at my face, and I'm like, don't like, if you want to sit down, fine. Make your 15-year-old son stand up.
Who's definitely can deal with standing,
or
make him hold the kid. Wait,
I
think that's a fair grievance, because that means as parents we need to do better and realize that this is something we do have to explicitly teach our children, boys and girls.
Yeah.
That if you see someone struggling holding a kid or a pregnant person or an older person or whatever, offer them your seat. Yeah, we're all of our feet are tired. But you're 15, you can handle.
I mean, I stand on the bus every time because I'm always offering my seat, and especially even as the girls get older, it's not just a boy thing, girl thing. Even as our girls get to be older, I'm gonna be get your butt up. There's a woman who needs a seat. There's even a young child who needs a seat versus if you have a
15-year-old that can definitely handle.
You go stand up. You're gonna be fine.
That's it. I know.
Anyway,
so okay.
All right, I'm off my high horse. I'm like Don Quixote over here. I'm on a mission to civilize. Hear me now, O thou bleak and unbearable world, thou art based and debauched as can be. For a knight with his banner, all bravely unfurled, now hurls down his gauntlet to thee.
It's almost like Shakespeare.
I am Don Quixote.
No. Okay. Okay, continue with the pros. The price. I mean, come on. You're getting a lot for your money. Yes, the room is going to be smaller. Yes, but you can't beat the price other than maybe All Stars.
Right. Exactly. The vibe.
Yeah.
And I think we overuse that term. We need to come up with we need to replace the vibe.
Ambiance.
Yeah. But like we talked about, there's so much joy. There's so much joy at Pop Century. I just feel like everyone's just walking around, happy to be there, smiling. People playing ping pong.
More Disney gear there than you see in any of the other resorts. I know.
Yeah, I think. It's just there's, and then the oversized characters. It's just such a fun place to be.
Yeah, grown-ups and kids alike. Mm-hmm. So the cons, it's not as close to places like the Magic Kingdom. So you're taking a bus to get there. It's going to be one of the longer bus rides you would take because it is one of the farthest away. And the bus ride's going to be, even when you're close, I feel like the bus ride's still 15 minutes. So farther away, maybe 25 minutes. It just kind of is what it is. It really is a trade-off. And that is definitely something we think about a lot. When we have very young kids with us and we're okay, we know we're going to be at Magic Kingdom a lot. Maybe we should stay at a resort closer. But that's a trade-off you kind of have to ask yourself if it's worth. And sometimes it's totally worth it.
Exactly.
Again, the Skyliner to the other resorts is nice.
And again, we love the monorail resorts too. There's no, but obviously you can pay a hefty price for those. You're going to be paying
a very different price.
Exactly. So no family suites. That's one con.
And Art of Animation has the family suites, but also All Star Music has their double rooms that they've kind of made. They're actually pretty cool. I would love to stay in one soon. And they're harder to get. You kind of got to book them ahead of time, but it's basically 2 rooms that they combine with a connecting door, right? And one room is the typical hotel room, and the other is more a living room with a pull-down bed, I think, too. It's really interesting the way they did it, but it's smart use of it. So they've kind of made some new-ish.
Yeah, and on that vein, so again, I kind of mentioned this at one point. The one con is that it's a maximum of 4 people, or 4 people plus a child under 3. So if a family of 5 can do it for a little while, as long as the youngest child is under 3. You can get a connecting room and request a connecting room. Now, I was told when I went in 2016 on my agent training, the cast member who I was with told me that if it is a family that has multiple children, just 2 adults and multiple children, and they need a connecting room, it is a guaranteed connecting room because they know that children can't be in their room.
It just has to be, yeah.
Apparently, that is not always the case because I was just reading something on the Disney Parks Mom blog or the Plan Disney blog, whatever it is, where it's not guaranteed. So
I feel like they would bend over
be,
backwards to make it happen.
Right.
If you got rooms and they weren't connected, if you went to the lobby and said, "Hey,
I have kids that are going to be in their own room,"
I feel like they would figure it out.
That's it, and that's kind of unless they are completely sold out and they have to. So I guess, and maybe it's just a way of them kind of covering their own behind
if they can't.
If
for
they
some
can't,
reason. Yeah, that's kind of what I think.
And anyway, so I feel like it's one of those things. You ask one cast member one thing, you ask another cast member, you're going to get different answers. But you can get connecting rooms. They do have connecting rooms. Just call, request, have your travel agent call, request, all those things, and make sure that you're doing it multiple times, making sure it's on the reservation, and then going to the front desk and being like, I have kids in the other room. I have to have connecting rooms.
Yeah, I think they'd make it.
Yeah, exactly.
Another con is there's no sit-down restaurant. Obviously, none of the values have a sit-down, like, fancy, nice restaurant. They just have the quick service. I don't feel like we ever really miss that. There's so many restaurants out in the parks and Disney Springs. Like, do you need it?
Right.
Plus, you could just go to the other resorts and enjoy their sit-down restaurants.
Yeah.
So we asked you guys on our Instagram, which of course is Disneyville Podcast, what your guys'
like Diagonally Disneyville Podcast.
what your guys' thoughts on Pop Century are. Do you have favorite places there, favorite food items? Why do you love it? Basically, any thought you had about Pop Century, we wanted you to share that. So,
ooh, we got a lot of responses.
I know
people are
love,
into Pop Century.
Pop Century.
All right. I'll start at the bottom.
I'll start at the top.
Let's go. Here we go. All right. Laystone _ said one word: vibes. Yep.
That is definitely repeated through this for sure.
Yep.
Okay. Allie June McDougal said loved the hotel scavenger hunt.
Oh, yeah.
And the hippy dippy pool. I don't think we did or asked for that scavenger hunt, but that is one of our tips we always give people is most of the resorts have a scavenger hunt. If you ask them in the lobby, they'll give you like the printout or whatever.
Right.
And then
if you have a resort day looking for something to do.
Or just, maybe one of the kids are napping. So you and, you want to go do something.
Or you're just a fun adult and you want to go do it by yourself.
You just want to do it by yourself.
Rachel E. Kane said Skyliner, of course, but also the nostalgia. I can't even remember if I stayed here as a kid, but it feels like it.
Oh, beautiful.
Like, that's it. It feels like
my childhood. It's the Hollywood that never was, but always will be, right? That's it. Like, it's the place you stayed as a kid, but you didn't actually.
The Schmidt 3 said, new food court.
Sorry. I can't wait to read this next one.
New food court, PB&J croissant. That sounds awesome. We'll have to try that
Y'all
next.
should not be doing this to me when I am this hungry.
Ellen Page Benson. We didn't talk about this. The tie-dye cheesecake. I kept seeing that advertised.
Yes, everywhere. Even on the elevators.
And we didn't try it. We should have tried it.
Okay. Sarah Foles said, love Skyliner, cost effectiveness, and the green beans.
The green beans?
But I wish the food was better. I feel like as a general rule, what we got was really good. But I think it's one of those things that it's like you either strike gold or you don't at a lot of these quick service places where they have really good food menu items and then others are maybe not as good. But I want to know about the green beans.
I know. Well, and I think
now I'm hungry for green beans.
I think they've also
Garlicky.
gotten better too.
Nikki Olivares said, I will say, I do get a bit peeved when my room is in the 80s or 90s. It's too far. It really is. And honestly, I feel like the preferred rooms, I just think that extra cost for the preferred room is totally worth it.
Here, I'm going to read 4 here because they're all about the Skyliner. Mm-hmm. All right, so Christina and crew said the Skyliner, of course, but mainly the decor and the ability to hop over to Art of Animation. We didn't do that this time, but we used to hop over there and like get breakfast over there.
Yeah, just a little something. Yeah. Something different.
Because they have the big statues over there too.
Just you do mobile order over there and go pick it up,
AJB said Skyliner makes it feel like a moderate or deluxe resort for budget pricing. That's exactly it.
That's it.
Carolina on my mind. Oh, I'm about to bust into a song over here. Said staying for the first time in November. Excited to experience the Skyliner in all her glory.
Yes.
And then Shelby Lauren 365 said the walk to the Skyliner stunning.
Oh, it really is. It's such
that waterway makes it all the difference.
It really
I feel like
does.
if it weren't for that
Hourglass
water
Lake,
there, it would be cool. But like the fact that it goes over water to start, it's just such a pretty way to start that experience.
Yeah. Jared said, fave hidden thing. Tyler, you're gonna love this.
Okay.
The big monitor at the computer pool still has MGM Studios on it.
Isn't it like the old Disney World website on there? Or something like that?
It might be. Like, I remember it looking like a website from the 90s or whatever. Oh my gosh, I'll have to look next time.
Christy Morales _ said, memories of my little brother trying to climb every single statue outside the buildings.
That's so cute.
Love Always Joanne said, just stayed there. New coffee shop. Perfect to keep Disney parents caffeinated.
Yes, without having to wait in that long line. I didn't know this. Maggie Hoy said, can see some of the luminous fireworks over the lake. I mean, Epcot's not terribly far. I mean, if you think about it, you're taking a Skyliner there. It's kind of a straight
shot over there. I never even thought about it. Bria _ M4 said the water view. I didn't think about that. The Hourglass Lake view is a very pretty view. So if your room
and you're seeing the
faces
Skyliner, maybe luminous.
That's so true.
Okay, a lot of people are mentioning the smell of the lobby.
I saw that too. Yeah.
I don't remember. I feel like all Disney resorts have some kind of smell that just smells so nice, but this one didn't like stand out to me, so I'll have to pay attention to that next time too.
Jackie 36 says that you have room windows facing the walkways. I love to see the guest decorations. That is a big thing. So many people decorate their windows. So as you're walking by, they've got, especially like during the holidays and stuff, people will decorate them. We actually, what are those things called that we ended up buying?
Perler beads.
Perler beads. We saw somebody had a bunch of different things. They're like these little, I don't know. They're like
a tiny cylinder bead.
Yeah.
That you place in like a certain design on a thing, and then you iron it so it sticks together.
Yeah.
And then they were hanging them on like little hooks or whatever on their window, but like on the inside, I don't even know how they did that.
Yeah.
I took video and pictures because I was like, I would totally do this. So we ended up getting some, and Genevieve made a few of those perler beads, Disney characters, for our Disney cruise door on the last cruise we went on. So we hung them, and it was so cute.
Yeah, and she has fallen in love with doing those things.
Honestly, it's fun. Yes, KMRXX4 said overall groovy vibes. Giant yo-yo, the abandoned construction lore. If you know, you know. Well, now you all know. Yes. Hey, Kelly Q said, low-key best splash pad because it's actually a fully fenced, zero-entry, shallow pool. And that's it. I'm remembering now. I think why Genevieve liked it so much was because it really is a splash pad, but there was like a little bit of like water in it. So it was not deep, but they were kind of like laying in it, remember, and kind of splashing too.
Yeah.
So it's just a good, simple splash pad that kids of all ages enjoy.
Yeah. All right. So here's actually one negative. Magical Melly said, I will never stay there again. We were there for 7 nights and did not have housekeeping. So a couple of things. I wonder when you stayed there. I wonder if it was during like right after COVID and stuff like that, because their housekeeping was all kinds of wonky. It was real weird.
Well, because they were. I don't remember. I remember reading about.
And it was like they were doing it like every 3 nights or something like that. And it was really bad for a while. It's gotten much, much better. But also, if that ever happens, you can call the front desk and ask them, and they will come out pretty quickly and say, I want my room serviced. And they will do it within an hour or so. Yeah. So don't let that happen again, because I would lose my mind.
Yeah, that would be awful.
I don't blame you.
Like just trash piling up, even just that.
That's it. Needing new towels and stuff like that.
Coffee and oof.
Yeah, so I don't blame you, but hopefully they just...
Hopefully it's, we know. We were just there and it was serviced every day. Yeah. And it was nice. Oh, a couple of you guys. Okay. T. Lee 3 said staying for the first time in October. You're going to have so much fun. And I hope that the weather is amazing. You're going to have so much fun. I'm excited for you.
All right. And then Kristen on Main Street said, love Pop, stayed there 4 times. Theming is, and then this emoji. And then plus the Skyliner. And then said, met you there during Wine and Dine.
Hey! We always love when you guys come up and say, hey. And, every once in a while we'll get messages after a trip like, hey, we saw you, but we were too nervous to say hi or whatever. Please don't be nervous. We're exactly the same as you see here. We will be so excited to meet you. Now, we just ask that you don't judge us if we are dealing with a 3-year-old's meltdown.
Or my meltdown, because I'm dealing with a 3-year-old.
I know. So, just give us grace too. But yeah, we
always
love when you guys say hey. Yeah. Always glad to say hi.
I always joke that I'm like, it's always when I'm at the point where I'm at the end of my rope and I'm losing my mind.
Me too. That's always when one of you guys comes up. It's hilarious. I'm like, well... We're real people. I don't know what else to say. So we always like to read a review that one of you guys left us on our podcast. I know you can leave reviews on Apple Podcasts. Mm-hmm. I don't know that you can on Spotify and stuff. So if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, or even if you listen to us here, if you go leave us a review over there, it really does help us out. Mm-hmm. It helps push our podcast out to people that would be interested in listening to this kind of content. So
absolutely.
This one was from Becca Loves Disney. 5 stars. Love, love, love. She said, I love this podcast. I've watched Jessica's YouTube for a number of years. I'm so glad I found this podcast. Also, Jessica, If you were walking by Trader Sam's in Disneyland, and I believe it was 2023, and you got creepy vibes from and you got creepy vibes from a woman looking at you, it was me. I'm so sorry. I feel like I vaguely remember this and I can't. I think we were there in 2023.
Was it January of 23?
I think so, because we were doing the marathons, whatever.
I think so. Yeah.
I was doing the 10K.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
It took me until after you walked past to realize it was you. And then I felt so awkward just staring you down like a creeper. Anyways, thank you so much for this delightful podcast.
Oh my gosh, that's
Becca,
so funny.
I love you. You are my people. I love that you wrote all of that in the review. That is so funny.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, well, I wish you would have said hey, but hey, well, let's consider this me saying hi right to you. That is awesome.
Well, it is so fun to be back for season 3.
Feels good, like getting into a warm bath.
This emoji again. We have some exciting news coming up here. We'll be sharing soon about our other videos. We've got some other housekeeping things we'll be talking about here in a few coming months, but we'll get to all that as we come up. So be sure and be following along because we'll announce all that stuff here soon.
Yes. Oh, one other little small announcement is I finally wrote a blog post and finished it about our top 10 best tips, tricks, hacks, whatever you want to call it, for a Disney World trip. This is something that we're hoping will be evergreen and we will change it as things update. But it is truly like, this is what we will send to family and friends that are going to Disney that are like, hey, I need your best tips. We will literally just send this blog. We were very painstakingly, we went through with the fine tooth comb and tried to make sure we covered everything that we feel like makes or breaks your trip.
Right.
Free stuff people don't know about. We did an episode on this a while back. Honestly, at this point, it was like 7 months ago. But it's all covered there. So if you have someone going to Disney, or maybe you are someone that you're going for the first time, definitely check it out. We'll link the blog post below. Share it with people that you feel like it would be helpful for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have another one that I'm about 80% of the way done with about taking kids to Disney. And that one should be done here.
It might be done by the time this is up. So if it is, we'll link it.
I'm very close to being done with that one. So that'll be up. So those are kind of our two like main going to Disney World top tips and then going with kids top tips. So
and this is, all of our experience poured into this and distilled into a useful, hopefully.
And again, it's like we kind of, I know when I was picturing it, it's like, what would I tell like our sister-in-law, like she's taking her kids, like what would I, like these are what I would tell my friends.
That's basically what I did just send my sister when she was going. I sent her my notes for the blog post.
That's it. So it's like, these are our tips for our friends and family. So this is.
We're letting you in on our.
Exactly. So anyway, I think that's about it. If you are interested, we do still have our Disneyville merch up on the Disneyville site. The Disneyville site.
I gotta get my hat back out.
I know, right? We still are continuing to keep the Disneyville welcome to Disneyville.com website up to date. We've got blog posts. We've got all our old episodes there. We've got the merch videos, there. We've got merch, videos.
Everything.
Anything you could ever want. And again, we'll talk a little bit more about this later, but that's our home for all of our Disney stuff. So welcome to Disneyville. And then the Disneyville YouTube page will be our home for all Disney stuff. So we'll talk more about that later. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's good to be back.
Yes, it is.
Whoop. And we will see you guys on the next one.
Bye, friends.
Goodbye.